Good day, everyone. We are Group 6. We are assigned to report the eco-literacies and the four major concerns. Eco-literacy means refers to ability to understand the interaction between human systems, transportation, energy, building, commerce, and industry and natural systems. Educating for eco-literacy is a way to shape awareness and engagement with this issue for life. The four concerns of eco-literacies. First, eco-literacy and sustainable development. Second, the seven environmental principles. Third, making schools dark and green schools. Last but not the least is the environmental education.
Good day everyone. Today we're gonna discuss to you what is eco-literacy and sustainable development. So first, we need to define what is eco-literacy. Eco-literacy is the ability to understand the natural systems that makes life on Earth possible. To be eco-literate means understanding the principles of organization of ecological communities, for example, our ecosystems, and using those principles, we can create sustainable human communities. There are 5 ways to become an eco-literate. First, develop empathy for all forms of life. Second, embrace sustainability as a community practice. Third, make the invisible visible. Fourth, anticipate unintended consequence. Fifth and last, understand how nature sustains life. An image of the ecologically literate person are inquirer, reflective learner, intelligently self-directed, morally and ecologically responsible, and self-transcendent. There are 7 environmental principles. First, nature knows best. Second, all forms of life are important. Third, everything is connected to everything else. Fourth, everything changes. Fifth, everything must go somewhere. Sixth, ours is a finite earth. 7. Nature is beautiful and we are stewards of nature. By weaving these forms of intelligence together, eco-literacy builds on the successes, from reduced behavioral problems to increased academic achievement, of the movement in education to foster social and emotional learning, and it cultivates the knowledge, empathy, and action required for practicing sustainable living. Okay, now, so let's proceed. What is sustainable development? Sustainable development is the idea that human societies must live and meet their needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Specifically, sustainable development is a way of organizing society so that it can exist in the long term. Sustainable Development Goals were born at the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development during 2012. The purpose was to produce a set of universal goals that would help combat the urgent environmental, political, and economic challenges facing in our world. There are 17 Sustainable Development Goals. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality of education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, industry, innovation and infrastructure, decent work and economic growth, reduce inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and partnership for the goals. These Sustainable Development Goals aim to encourage sustained economic growth by achieving higher levels of productivity and through technological innovation. The importance of this sustainable development is it practices help countries grow in ways to adapt the challenges posed by climate change, which will in turn help to protect important natural sources for ours and future generations.
The 7 environmental principles. First, nature knows best. Second, all forms of life are important. Third, everything is connected to everything else. Fourth, everything changes. 5, everything goes somewhere. Sixth, ours is a finite earth. And the last, but not the least, nature is beautiful and we are stewards of God's creation. Nature knows best. Nature has the ability to regulate, perpetuate, and maintain its balance and keep living and non-living organisms stable. However, humans interrupt and alter these abilities, imbalance happens, and ecological backlash occurs. In fact, natural calamities are a mechanism used by the environment to keep itself from balance. So, it means that the nature knows everything how to maintain the beautification of our Mother Earth. Just like for the example of Dolomite white sand in Manila Bay. As you can see in the picture that there is a sea moss or in Filipino term, lumo. In research, sea moss is very important in the ocean or in the sea. It means that the sea is or the ocean is healthy. Please allow me to speak in vernacular. Ang ating gobyerno ay naglagay ng Dolomite white sand Manila Bay. Pero ang ating kalikasan ay gumagawa rin ng paraan para mas maging maganda ito. In how many months or years the Manila Bay will healthy and more beautiful as we can see in the past few years. Second environmental principle. All forms of life are important. It means that all the living organisms have the inherent right to exist. All of them play an important role that is evident in the food chain. Diversity is a characteristics of nature and the basis of ecological stability. Biodiversity in many ways support human life. It means that lahat ng makikita mong buhay ay importante. Lahat ng may buhay ay karapatang mabuhay. Just like for example, the sheep. We know that the skin of the sheep is ginagamit natin sa paggawa ng bag. Yes, because their skin is matibay. Masakit mang isipin, marami sa ating mga mayayaman ang hilig gumamit nito dahil marami silang pera. The third environmental principle. Everything is connected to everything else. It means in an ecosystem, all biotic and abiotic components interact with each other to ensure that the system is sustained. Any intrusion from outside may cause an imbalance and collapsing of the system. Just like for example, biotic. Biotic means all living organisms. Abiotic means all non-living organisms. For example, the biotic here is the plant and the abiotic here is the land. So we need to connect the two. We need a connection both of that plant and the land. Without land, no plant. Without plant, the land is dry or boring. There's no nature. There's no green, leafy trees, flowers, like that. So we need everything connected to everything else. Murag kamo good kung wala may connection, buwag na mo. Charo. fourth environmental principle. Everything changes. It means that the environment is constantly changing. Organisms also develop through time. However, with our current technology, we have affected these natural changes that these changes now causes problematic event to us. Humans should rethink their relationship with the environment because what we believe that is beneficial environment often turn out to be catastrophic. So, as you can see now that our Mother Earth is changing. Just like for example, from the rice field to house subdivision, from the forest to buildings. Kaya nga naman, ang ating kalikasan ay ilang parusa, nagkakaroon tayo ng pagbaha, landslide, dahil sa kakulangan na ng mga puno na mihigop sana ng tubig galing sa baha upang hindi lumala yung baha, landslide, wala ng ugat ng puno upang kumapit yung mga lupa na hindi babagsak. Yan ang parusa ng ating kalikasan. Huwag nating abusuhin kalikasan dahil pagdating ng panahon, ang kalikasan rin ang magliligtas sa atin. The fifth environmental principle. Everything must go somewhere. It means that everything ends up and elsewhere. It doesn't just disappear. For example, throwing of plastics everywhere. You know that plastic can take anywhere from 20 to 500 years to decompose. Depend on the material and structure. So, just think before you throw your garbage anywhere. Because that one plastic garbage can go to other country. We do not know. Dahil yung plastic na yan ang magbabara sa kanal. Yan ang nagdudulot ng kabahaan sa ating lugar. So ikaw, itapon mo sa tamang lalagyan o basurahan para naman makatulong ka sa ating mamamayan at sa ating kalikasan. The sixth environmental principle. Ours is finite Earth. It means this law tells us that there are limits to the population that can support to prevent exhaustion of resources, limits to the amount of yield that an area can produce at a particular time to maintain its ability to sustain life. If we don't take care of our ecosystem, we will suffer from thirst and hunger. Sabi nga nila, pupunta na tayo sa Mars kung sakali lang ang Earth ay mapapagod na. We know that from the nature, everything that we need is provided by a nature in abundance. Just like, for example, foods, water, energy, minerals, and also the air. Last but not the least of environmental principle. Nature is beautiful and we are stewards of God's creations. It means that among all creatures, humans are the only ones made in God's image and have been given the right to have dominion over all this creation. Being the most intelligent and gifted with reason, humans are capable of manipulating creation to their own advantage. Yet, creation exists not to be ravaged or abused, but to be taken care of. Human cannot exist without nature. They are co-natural with the environment they live in. If the environment they live in is destroyed, with it will go Homo sapiens. Alam mo naman natin na tayo ang pinakaswerte in God's creation. But, inabuso natin ito. Do not abuse, but take care of it. Manila Bay noon, maraming basura dahil yan sa mga tao. Pero ngayon, salamat dahil dilinis na at inalagaan na ito at binalik na sa dati niyang anyo. Hopefully that this is a lesson to us. Kailangan natin pangalagaan ang ating kalikasan. huwag natin abusuhin ito.
Making school dark green school. So first, we need to identify what is dark green school. Dark green school is a school or program that delivers environmental education through assimilation of the environmental philosophy by the students day in and day out in the formal lessons as well as from activities outside in the classroom. So, the objective of this program is that students graduating from the Philippine school have the knowledge, skills, and motivation to work for integrity of our countries and communities, for the whole of God's creation, for their own sake, and for the sake of generations to come. The Dark Green School program seeks to ensure deep commitment to the actualization of environmental goals through standardization and accreditation, which it will standardize expectation of different level of greenness. Second, School Environmental Assessment Program, which it has two components. First, the self-assessment, and the second is school visitation.
And the last concern of eco-literacy is the environmental education. It means refers to organized efforts to teach how natural environments function and particularly how human being can manage behavior and ecosystems to live sustainably. For example, tree planting, proper waste management. Tree planting. So, dahil alam natin nagkakaubusan na ng unting-unti nang naubos ang ating puno. Sobrang init na. Rami ng polusyon dahil sa mga buga na usok ng mga sasakyan. Kaya nga, meron na tayong batas ngayon na Republic Act 3571. Ito ay nagsasabi na bawal ng pumutol ng mga puno, ng mga matataas o mga matatanda ng mga puno. At dapat pagkatapos mong pumutol nito or nasa legal ka na pagputol nito, dapat mo itong taniman ulit. Bakit nga ba natin pinuputol ng mga puno? Dahil yan, kailangan natin yan, panggatong, gawa ng bahay, at kung ano-ano pa. Pero dapat ikaw mismo, magtanim ka, magparami ka ng puno. Dahil in the future, yung tinanim mo na puno, yan din ang tutulong sa iyo. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy and have a learn of what we discussed. See you till next time. Thank you and God bless.